social shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, just some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hear me. Woo! I mean, like, we can pull that clown shit away. This some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thugs in harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse with only few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Yo, morning, everybody. Hope you're all blessed. Hope everyone is doing good, man. Hope everyone's doing good, man. Obviously, we're here, match preview. Liverpool versus Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League. I think this is what, match week 4? Yeah, match week 4, I think. Yeah, 4. I think we're on the 4th match week now. Obviously, we're getting halfway through this new Champions League setup, this whole new, format and everything like that. Guys, please make sure you are hitting the likes button. Please make sure you share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Obviously, this evening is kind of dominated with the return of XABI ALONSO. Of course, former Liverpool player, former Bayern Munich player, former Real Madrid player, former Spanish international. Yeah, it's one of those kind of nights, man. It's one of those kind of nights where I think that it's going to be very, very interesting for Liverpool, especially after the last couple of matches that we've played as well, both in the league and stuff like that, where it's just been a little bit, a little bit, But listen, hopefully Liverpool can get the win, because if we can get the victory, that will mean we've got 4 out of 4. That puts us on 12 points in the Champions League, halfway through. Still got Real Madrid to play, and I think once we get to that 12-point mark, then that game against Real Madrid is at least a little bit like, all right, cool, we can, we can maneuver from there, kind of thing. And then that game doesn't become so like, oh my goodness, against Real Madrid, who are, I was going to say our bogey team, but they beat us all the time. So yeah, we can at least go into that game where it's not so much pressure, so to speak. Big up everybody, of course, inside the building. Big up Ends, man. Hope you're doing well, my bro. And when are we gonna change this name? What's the name of the intro though? I forgot what you mean. John the second. I'll get up his link, but his link's in my description anyway. It's always in there. So if you head on over to his page, whether it's Instagram, Spotify, or whatever. But I'll see if I can get it up for you anyway, for you to be able to check it out. But yeah, he does. My intros are always going to be him. Always intro, outro. It's always going to be him. He's got new music on the way as well. So definitely make sure you guys hit him up, man, because yeah, he's one of the guys as well. But yeah, as I said before, Liverpool versus Bayer Leverkusen. Yeah, man, I don't know, man. It's just gonna be an interesting one, I think, in regards to Liverpool. I do think that, Bayer Leverkusen not been doing, would I say, their best, so to speak. Obviously, comparing it to last season, of course, where they went unbeaten in the league and, they were flying in the Bundesliga and stuff like that. Obviously, they're back in the Champions League now for the first time in God knows how long. So I think for them, it's almost like they're just trying to get used to everything. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, we're getting used to, we're in the Champions League, we're in the big leagues now. And we're also getting used to the fact that we're actually a good team. So teams are now approaching us a lot more different than they did last season. Last season, where you can kind of get away with it in terms of, not get away with it, but you know what I mean? Like they can come at teams in a way where teams might not respect them in that kind of way. So you almost hit teams by surprise. Obviously, by the time it gets to March, teams have realized what you're about. But by then, it's almost like too late. Do you know what I mean? Like by that point, you're in a rhythm, you're in a run. They're winning games 95th minute, 96th minute, 97th minute. Like it was getting to a point where I was like, nah, I feel like referees are starting to do this on purpose, because they were scoring after added time. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, the 97th, 98th minute. And they had that within them, which is exactly what Liverpool have. So they're very similar in that kind of way, in terms of the way that, both teams have got this kind of never say die, kind of attitude. And, listen, man, Alonso's obviously clearly installed that, within the team, but also as well, I think because of the, some of the players that they've got as well, who are very good players that, of course, we're going to look into now as well. You know, players that I think that once they could smell the victory, once they could smell the trophy come the end of the season, and also for what they were doing in terms of trying to go unbeaten and stuff like that, once they could smell that, you could tell, man, it was like bodies on the line type of vibe. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But as I said, this season, listen, they're sitting in fourth currently in the Bundesliga. They are, what's that, 6-7 points actually off of the top of the table. So, like I say, man, not doing too great, you know, so to speak. I mean, they haven't lost in their last 5 games, but they've only won once. It's in the Bundesliga anyway. They've only won once in their last 5 games, and they've drawn the other 4. Scored 20 goals in the Bundesliga, conceded 15. So yeah, there's goals in this game. I do believe that there are going to be goals in this game. But listen, I give the most respect, you know, to a team, you know, like Bayer Leverkusen, because on their day they will kill you. And I literally mean that in the football sense. They will kill you guys off if you're not careful, because of the way, of course, that they play. And of course, with this being such a big match and the occasion and stuff like that, yeah, it could be one of those ones, man. Big up, Grants, man. Good morning to you, my bro. Good morning. We need to teeth work. Yeah, I know. Enzo will like that as well, by the way. But listen, I take Verts right now. I take Verts. Hey, G, what you saying? Cause interesting game tonight. Yeah, I know, man. I know. Let's take a look. Obviously, a couple of their players. Big up Ends, by the way. If you guys haven't watched his preview for the game, he did it yesterday. He spoke quite a bit about, you know, some of the players that we've got to, you know, just be wary of, you know, today. And of course, you guys already said it, Florian Wirtz. Listen, man, one of the best players out there right now in terms of in the last season anyway. You know, one of the top players around Europe. This guy is, yeah, he's going to be difficult. He's going to be difficult, but he's one of those players, yeah. I almost feel like he's not the key player that I'm even looking at. That player is going to come in a second. But he's one of those players. I almost feel in a games like this anyway, big games. I'm not saying he doesn't like, he's not going to be scared or nothing like that. But I feel he'd be easier to nullify than some of the other players. Not because he's not better than the other players, because he's better than probably any player I'm about to speak about. But the type of player that he is and the kind of position that he plays, you guys can obviously see with his heat map, you know, the kind of positions that he operates in. You can see, like, you know, on that left-hand side, mainly on that right-hand side as well. But it's that left-hand side, you know, so Trent side, basically, where we've just got to, just be a bit easy, because he drops into those pockets of spaces and he ghosts. And when I say ghost, he don't do Gakpo type of ghost where you ghost out of games. I'm talking he ghosts into positions and you almost don't even realize that he's even in those kind of positions. And then that's what creates the problem, because with them, it's almost like at times you'll see if they've got Victor Boniface playing, sometimes I'm seeing Wirtz up front, but Boniface has dropped in. He's dropped into that position that Florian Wirtz would be in that attacking midfield or second striker kind of role. So you just need to be careful. If they can thread the passes into him, that's where it becomes a little bit more of a danger. Where we looked at like Xavi Simons for the RB Leipzig game, I feel like he'll do a somewhat similar role, but he's a lot more effective on the ball and he's got better movement as well. So that's where just Liverpool just need to be careful, especially with their pressing. We've spoken about it. I know quite a few people have done videos and I've seen a few people talking about this whole out of possession 4-2-4, it not really working, you know, against certain types of teams and etc. etc. I think that's where Liverpool are going to just need to pattern it up, because they're obviously, I don't think they're going to be like an Arsenal or like a Brighton or whatever, where they're going to be able to plug the gaps and the holes as well. I'm not saying they can't do it, but I don't think they're going to do it as well as we faced against Arsenal, for example, where it's like, bro, you just cannot get through. They'll give us space or whatever, but that space, it's almost like they're doing that on purpose because they want that space for themselves as well. So they can obviously implement what they want to try and do, you know, in the game. But I just think it's going to be interesting the way Alonso might approach this game. He knows Anfield. He knows what the fans are like. And obviously players like Granit Xhaka as well, who have played at Anfield, played in the Premier League. Those kind of things might help in games like this. Listen, it might only give them an extra 1 or 2 more percent, but who knows, you know, what we're going to be at, you know, where we're going to be, you know, this in this kind of match. So those kind of things I do think about more so sometimes than the actual just tactics of the game. But listen, look, Florian Wirtz, 15 games, 7 goals, 1 assist. Yeah, man, he's doing his thing, man. He's doing his thing. If Konate is good to play, I would drop Trent for Gomez this game. I haven't watched press conference, by the way, if he's already done it. So I haven't got a clue. I think I heard that Konate's calm. I'm sure I saw that. But I haven't watched it to know whether or not, you know, who's fit, who's not fit. I'm just going to go with what I can remember from the last time I saw him speak. Big up Storm in the Teacup. Good morning. Good morning to you. Leverkusen, dangerous team. Be a game of chess. Yeah. I feel like it's going to be quite similar to the Arsenal game, but not in terms of tactics wise, just in terms of the game in itself. As you say, a game of chess and trying to figure out this, that, and the third. And like I say, man, Liverpool just got to be up for it. We really do need to start these games a lot better. That's what's bugging me more about Liverpool. We're not really starting games that well. Do you know what I mean? Like, it seems to be first half, as always, it's always like, oh, that first half was rubbish. Have you guys realized that? I think I said this yesterday. Most of these first halves, it's always at the end of it, oh, that was crap. Then it's like, oh, we improved in the second half. Bro, like, I don't mind you improving, of course, in the second half if it leads to victories. It just doesn't make sense that you don't start games that well. So sometimes I start to wonder, like, what was your preparation like before this game? Because it always seems like we're baffed and we haven't got a clue what the opposition was about to do. I'm like, did you guys not prepare? Like, I don't get it. Like, are you guys not training for this? Like, is that not what you're supposed to be doing? Because you seem to spend a lot of time trying to figure it out on the football pitch, and we're just lucky that we've got, you know, good individuals, you know, guys who have got a bit more football sense, that we're able to figure it out. But we shouldn't have to. Like, we should just be starting the game, you know, as we mean to kind of go on. But listen, man, it is what it is. Another player who I think, listen, if he starts today, I think, yeah, he'll be a problem. That's obviously Jeremy Frimpong. I don't even know what you want to call him. A right winger is what I'm going to call him. His heat map tells me he's more of a right winger than he is a right back. Obviously, the system that they play with 3 at the back, you can call him a wing back, if any, you know, at his most defensive, that's what he is, you know, a wing back. But listen, you know, 14 games a season, got himself a goal and 6 assists. All I'm saying is, you see them foot races. I don't know who's going to be playing left back. It doesn't really matter, to be honest, because he's faster than anybody on our left-hand side, to be honest with you. He'll duck out Tsimikas, Gomez, and Robertson. You know, he is rapid, like stupidly quick. Like, he's got this dumb, you know, speed. But when I do look at, you know, someone, you know, like Jeremy Frimpong, obviously it's going to be the defensive side of things that, you know, most people are going to look at when we are talking about someone like him. If you can exploit that, then I feel like, you know, we're good to go. We're kind of good to go. I don't think it will be too much of an issue. It's just more about what he can do to affect the game. And I just think, again, don't give him too much joy. Again, I don't know if XABI Alonso thinks tonight, you know what, because Liverpool like to play through central areas, do we go out wide or do we play in the middle? I don't, honestly, I really don't know how, you know, how he's going to kind of see it. But yeah, if they do decide, you know, that they want to start, you know, attacking the wings, you know, for whatever reason, yeah, that's where Liverpool, you know, are going to have to, just have to, you know, pattern up and just sort it out. Just sort it out, because he will be a threat. And alongside him, or on the other side of things, it's then Grimaldo. you know, again, exactly the same. Grimaldo's a lot more better defensively, by the way. He's got a better defensive IQ than a Frimpong, and he is someone who goes up and down that left-hand flank. So from left back all the way up to, you know, left wing. So again, someone who can get you an assist, get you a goal as well. Both of those. That's what worries me about those two more than anything. Is, you know, like with like a Robbo and a Trent, for example. Obviously, 2 better players, but you see, like with those two, I'm not worried about you getting into dangerous areas, so to speak, because I'm like, yeah, you guys don't really score goals like that. You know what I mean? You're not really good goal scorers. They'll pop up with their goals, of course they will, but they're not those type of players where I'm like, Jesus Christ, you don't want to get such and such in this position, because if he gets there, it could be. No, they're not those kind of players. They're more delivery into the box kind of guys. So I feel like that's easier for me to be able to worry about, because I'm like, as long as I can stop them a bit further up the field, then it stops kind of a lot what's going on. With these guys and the way that Leverkusen play, it worries me when they get into these forward areas, because these guys can finish. These guys scored bare goals last season, both of them. Both of them scored bare goals last season, on top of getting a load of an assist. So that's what worries me, because I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, man. trying to stop you in both ways, that's where it becomes tricky. By the way, I'm not saying all of this to say Liverpool cannot go out there and slap them 5-0. We could easily do that. I'm just looking at their own kind of threats. And of course, just like if our main players, play well and they get joy, same thing for, Bayer Leverkusen. If they go out there and certain players get too much joy, it will be a problem. A massive, massive problem. Imagine having big up Gramps. Imagine having Frimpong and Davis as our fullbacks. I would never be scared when teams count us. Bro, I know. You see when Trent's doing the walking back thing and he doesn't want to come back, and Robbo's trying to get back, but he's just too slow and he can't really. Bro, that's not happening with Davis and Frimpong. No way. But those two are so tricky to. They're so tricky to kind of position, because you're like, both of them. Yes, they play in fullback positions, but they're a lot more further up the field. That's where managers always seem to place it. Like, if you watch Bayern Munich, if you see the position that like Davis usually starts from, sometimes it's like he's in the left back channel, but he's like, and the team is still in their shape of 4 at the back, for example, but he's just so far up. But because he can get back, it almost doesn't really matter. So sometimes I remember watching a game, I think it might have been against Real Madrid actually, and I remember thinking, oh, this brother is so far up, but the team hasn't moved out of its shape. It's still playing a 4 at the back. So the 2 centre backs and the right back were in their own, positions and whatever. But Davis was quay. He was quay up the field. And I was thinking, but he ended up scoring in that game at the Bernabeu, right? So yeah, it can work. And I think that's what it's like for, same with Frimpong as well. Those kind of players, they're just, they're fast, man. They're so fast. But listen, look, Frimpong and Grimaldo, 2 very good players, 2 players I like as well, 2 players I would sign, by the way, if anyone was wondering. I would have them in my team. I think you can utilize what they're good at, especially Grimaldo. He's had an interesting career, but right now, he's at his peak. So definitely a very good player. But the most important player in this team, it's not Florian Wirtz. It's not Victor Boniface. It's not Tapsoba or Tar at the back. It's not Frimpong or Grimaldo. It's this guy right here. And you know what? I mean, I said it last year when he was doing his thing, but big up to Xhaka. When he was at Arsenal, I felt he only had 1 good season. And when I say good season, I'm talking about where he hit like a level. The other seasons, I was like, he's showing bits and glimpses and whatever. I look at Xhaka now as this is one of the best midfielders out there, easily. Like, if I had to rank all the midfielders in today, he's up there with some of them. He's 1,000,000% up there. This guy, since his last season at Arsenal, then obviously Bayer Leverkusen last season, and then obviously, continuing this season, this guy has been on some different kind of energy. I don't know if it's one of those things where with age, as we were saying, when players get a bit older, especially central midfielders, they get older. It's like they get smarter. For me, that's what I'm seeing with him. Yes, he showed glimpses, and I know Arsenal fans will be like, yeah, he was always... No, he wasn't. He was never, ever this good. I can promise you that for free. Hence why there was only Mönchengladbach and Bayer Leverkusen who were actually after him, at the time, because he'd only shown glimpses, and it's all about, do we want to take a punt on someone like that, who, might be okay for what we're trying to do, but he's just taking his game to a next level. He is fantastic. This brother, I checked, this is obviously in the Bundesliga, but he has 100 touches per game. He touches the ball 100 times. Not saying he needs to do it, or he's got 3 assists anyway, but it's not even the fact that he's touching the ball 100 times. He's getting 91% passing accuracy. In his own half, it's 94%. In the opposition half, it's 89%. 72%, in terms of the accurate long balls he's making 5 per game. I'm trying to say, like, he's chances created so far. Obviously, his 3 key passes per game is 2.3. Like, I promise you, he is the danger man in the team. Stop him, and I feel like Liverpool can go a bit of a way. I think if you stop him, I'm not saying, yes, we know Frimpong and all, yes, those guys will hurt you in the ways that they will hurt you, but he is the hub of the team. He's the best midfielder that they have. Like, do not let this guy get on the ball and lift and put his head up. Don't let him do that, because once he does that, I feel like it's curtains. Like, and that's why I said I have to big up Xhaka, because I didn't rate him like that when he left Arsenal. I was like, in that last season, I thought, now Xhaka's cooking. You know, like he was one of the best midfielders in the league that season, but that was about it. And then he went to Bayer Leverkusen again. I don't really know what Leverkusen were going to do under XABI Alonso, but yeah, it was mad. Like it was genuinely mad. You know, the way that the way that I was kind of seeing it. You know, for someone like Xhaka. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So yeah, man. Like I say, big up to Xhaka every single damn time. There you go, Mike. If you're free, I think I just sent it there. Yeah, if you're free, yeah, jump in. I'm gonna remove that in like 2 minutes. Graham said we might have to stick Zoppo or Jones on him and follow him around. It will stop the supply to Wirtz and Grimaldo. Possibly. That's why it's interesting to see what team is he going to put out tonight. What team are you going to put out tonight? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because I feel like that's going to be where we're going to need to just be a little bit careful. And obviously when Michael comes in, he can kind of, rap to you guys in regards to like Leverkusen, the way that they play formation and, stuff like that. Because I know he watches them a lot more than I do. I've only seen, I think, like twice, I think, this season. But watching a few highlights and videos, he's just the hub of everything I see them do. He is the guy. And sometimes it might just be the pre-assist, kind of player. Sometimes it's about relieving pressure. He's so good at that, like picking the ball up from the goalkeeper. When the team is under, immense pressure at times, in games, he's able to just relieve that. Calm, no problems. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And that's why, I think, someone like Xhaka is the problem. He is the massive problem, for Bayer Leverkusen and, for Liverpool in order for us to get the victory. But listen, if we can get him having a quiet game, no issues and stuff like that, then I'm a lot more confident. I am a lot more confident that Liverpool can get a positive result, if I'm being totally honest. But if we don't, and he's allowed to cook, and we know obviously him and Trent Alexander-Arnold, that should be kind of interesting to see, how that kind of pans out. But yeah, it's just one of those kind of things, man. It's one of those things. Why wait for Mike? Let me know if you got the link, bro, if you need me to resend it again. Obviously, like I said, I saw this yesterday in regards to Konate. So I'm going to assume that Konate is available for the game. Whether that changes, it doesn't really change my thinking as to who was going to play. But yeah, I believe he is obviously available, for this game. So yeah, which is kind of a good thing. I said kind of, it is a good thing because he's obviously been in really, really good form, created a really good partnership with Virgil van Dijk. It's so crazy, man. Van Dijk, this guy, and I've done a video as well, talking about Virgil van Dijk. Like, it's mad because this brother has had bare centre-back partnerships in his time at Liverpool. And it's not like Van Dijk has been here for like Jamie Carragher, Steven Gerrard type of years where you're like, you've been at the clubs, for 15, 17, 18 years. So it'll be understandable for you to have had so many different partnerships from the day you started, to the day you left. Guys, he didn't join that long ago. I'm saying it's only been like what, 7, 8 years or so, 6 or 7 years or whatever it is that Van Dijk's been here. He's had Dejan Lovren. He's had Joe Gomez. He's had Matip. He's had Konate. He's had Jarrell Quansah. The guy's had 5 centre-back partners since he's been here. Like, that's crazy. To me, that is just mad. Like, how have you had so many? How have you had so many partnerships since you've been here? And of course, he's the common denominator here because he has just rose above everything. And it doesn't matter what partnership he has. It doesn't matter who's playing with him. Van Dijk, just like Salah, which is why I respect them both, just like Salah, those guys will eat regardless. Those guys will eat regardless. It really does not matter at all who's there. As long as I'm eating, I'm always going to be good. Do you know what I mean? I'm always going to be good. Just taking a look here just before I wait for this guy. I sent it to your Twitter, bro. Right there. I sent it to your Twitter, bro. Let's take a look at this real quick so you guys can see this. So yeah, this is obviously how they set up at the back there. Can we zoom in a bit? There we go. Yeah. So this is obviously how they set up. Usually it's got like 3 at the back. Sometimes it's like a 4. This obviously looks like a 5 that they've got back here. So 3-5-1-1. Obviously this is with Hoffman in behind Stick. You got Xhaka, Palacios in the middle with Garcia there, Teller and Arthur. They've also got Mikhail. Yeah, I like him. Forgot about him actually. I completely forgot about him. Obviously Jonathan Tah and Tapsoba, another player that we were all looking at potentially signing, for Liverpool. Oh yeah, Michael's in the back. He's in the back. Let me know when you're ready, my bro. But yeah, like I said, man, it's just gonna be. Like I say, it's him I'm mostly more concerned about, which is obviously, Granit Xhaka. Big up, Mike. I don't know if he's there in the back. You'll give him a sec to join in. Amol, against Bayer Leverkusen and XABI tactics, the Anfield atmosphere and chance is not going to work. Yeah, maybe not. That's why I say, because Xabi Alonso knows what Anfield is about, because he knows what that vibe is. I'm not saying, listen, that won't give you too much of an advantage, because we've seen teams who obviously have come up against Liverpool who do know what the atmosphere is going to be like, and they still can't get the victory. But he knows. So I think it's just more about how he's going to set up his own team to be able to combat that, because he's going to understand that there's going to come a point in the game, especially in the second half, there's going to come that point where it's like, hey, the crowd are going to get on your back. You need to be able to almost stifle that. And it might just be in the way that they play. They might play in a way that then the Anfield crowd are just quiet. We've seen more often than not that this, especially this season, the Anfield crowd has been super quiet. Yeah, I mean, been super duper quiet, so quiet. Library settings. Did you get what I'm trying to say? Like that's what it's been, for a lot of the games at home, this season. It's only been a couple of games here and there in like random moments, against Brighton. They wanted to start making it. That's what it's been. Liverpool fans are not one of those 90-minute type of crowds. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's never ever really been like, I've never really heard it like that, barring games against like Man City, as of recently. It's very rarely a 90-minute thing. Like I see it, like, I know you guys will laugh, but like when I've been to Crystal Palace, it's like that. It's 90 minutes of hell. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It really does not matter, in regards to that. Last minute winner, the Anfield is going to be cold. Yeah, let's see. Big up, Mike, man. Hope you're doing well, my bro.
All good, G. Just enjoying Barcelona. The fucking game over. I was at the game again last weekend. Epic scenes. It was cold.
Just showing off now. Just showing off.
It was cold as fuck, though, bro. It was cold. Even for England standards, it was cold. But when you watch Lamine Yamal, you get a sense of warmth in your heart, and you're saying to yourself, "Football is okay. We got a baller like that." But big game today, man. Big game.
Facts. What are you telling us, man? Like, let us know, man. Like, obviously, like I said, I wanted you to kind of, rap about, Bayer Leverkusen, obviously Xabi Alonso returning and stuff like that. But what is it you think that Liverpool are going to have to, or, where do you think the game is going to be won and lost in this game to this evening?
Down the channels. That's really where it's going to be won, because we know what Xabi Alonso is going to do. Although I've been watching 2 of their Champions League games so far this season. I saw their game against Stade Brestois and then the game away to Feyenoord. They were not good in either game. Yeah, they destroyed Feyenoord 4-0. Dude, Feyenoord were abysmal that game. They had all the chances, Feyenoord, to maybe make it 4-2, 4-3 in the matchup, and that was more in Feyenoord being atrocious. They're not playing well this season. Compared to last year, I think it's just the juju. The juju wore off. They must have visited some African witchcraft or what, but the juju wore off, man. I like, when you watch them play this season, it's more that, yeah, last season defensively they weren't good, even though they didn't concede a lot of goals in the Bundesliga, but they gave up chances. Radetzky stepped up, their defense stepped up, but this season they're giving up the same chances and they're conceding a lot more goals this season. They're conceding 2 to Wolfsburg, 2 to this team, 3 to that team, and I'm more sort of looking at us and saying, if we can get Diaz to cook or Gakpo, whoever starts, and if Salah is keeping up that form, I think we're really going to cook down the wings. It's not really going to be about, okay, can we play through the middle? It's when they're exposed defensively, because we know Grimaldo and Frimpong are going to both push up high up the field. When we get the ball, then can we quickly counterattack on them? That's where we're going to really win this game. I'm not looking at the midfield battle. As long as we can keep Wirtz quiet, as long as we can keep Xhaka quiet, I think we're going to win this game. I really do, because they just not been playing well. Yeah, look, they got obviously talent, and we know what Xabi Alonso is about. And I feel like Bayer Leverkusen are just going to go to Anfield and try and get a draw. They're in a good position in the Champions League. For them, it's like, okay, we're not playing well here. Let's try and be defensively solid. So I'm not expecting a fireworks sort of game. It's just about, okay, tactically, how to slot prepare. Xabi Alonso is going to be a bit more defensive. So it's a very intriguing game. I got to say it. And obviously, Xabi Alonso returns.
Nah, man, this is it, man. This is why I say it's going to be interesting to see for me, and obviously we'll take a look now. Who does he play today? I feel like that's going to be, as you said, because obviously you're mentioning Diaz. I know some people want, Cody Gakpo, for example, to potentially start, in a game like this. The midfield, I feel, is a very weird area at the moment because it's funny about Liverpool's midfield. Yeah, we don't actually have that many first team midfielders anyway available in terms of outside of Zobo, McAllister, Gravenberch, Curtis Jones. Endo you can throw in there, but we know he's not going to start. Tyler Morton is the only one. Elliott's still injured. Train Yoni. We're not blessed with options. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But at the moment, everyone's fighting amongst each other in the Liverpool fan base because they don't want this guy to play, or they need this guy to be dropped. They want this guy to play, or whatever. So that's why I've done some of the team, but I didn't, like I said, I'll leave the rest. And obviously we can kind of go through it. In the other centre-back slot, obviously, Konate has been, it looks like he's fine for the game. Would you play him, or would you play Joe Gomez there after his performance?
No, I'll play Gomez. You cannot risk Konate, bro. That dude is like paper straws. If he just feels a little bit of an injury, don't risk it. Just play Gomez. I thought Gomez was man of the match, honestly. For that second half performance, I thought he was amazing. Should have scored twice, but he was.
Yes.
I thought defensively he was phenomenal. Dealing with Danny Welbeck, dealing with Ruter, I thought he was fantastic. So as long as we can get that performance, because today Van Dijk and Gomez got a headache with Boniface. He is a quality striker. It's not just he's not a dude who's going to run the channels. His hold-up play is what is so essential to the Leverkusen. So, got to keep him nullified. But yeah, Gomez got to start.
All right. So this is the big question that's obviously going around the Liverpool fan base, as you've probably seen. Like I said, just like midfield, I don't feel like we're blessed with good options like that anyway. So it's just more the lesser of the two evils. Who would you take right now?
Left back. I'd probably start Robbo.
Oh, wow. So you wouldn't start? Okay, fair. You wouldn't start. Why not Tsimikas?
I'm just going by slots logic here. He says, okay, we're gonna play Tsimikas over the weekend. Robbo, you slot in. Robbo started both games last week. No, 2 weeks ago. Oh wait, who did he start against? Robbo started against Chelsea. He started against Brighton in the League Cup. I think Robbo's gonna start this game then. And you kind of have to start him because Tsimikas is not blessed with the pace. Robbo's got a little bit more pace than him, and you're going up against Frimpong. Dude, that dude is one of the quickest players in football right now. So if you want to nullify really Bayer Leverkusen, you got to nullify out wide, and that's where Robbo comes into key spot here against Frimpong. That's a battle where he has to win it. If he doesn't win it, we're screwed.
Bro, I was saying it just before you got said, bro, you see that African pace that he's got? It's mad. It's mad. Like I didn't know, obviously, watching him at Celtic, I knew he was quick, but I was watching Scottish football, so I was like, maybe he just looks quicker. Nah, he's actually stupidly fast, and I think he's gotten faster over the years, and he's not even old. So he's hitting prime years where he can just start to be like an Alphonso Davies, where you get to a point where, you're so fast that no one's really catching you if you get on a run, like nobody, Mbappe type of settings. Obviously, midfield, we know Gravenberch, of course, he starts there. All right, we've got two spots. In your opinion, who would you put in the pivot alongside Gravenberch for this game?
I still got to go with my boy Mac, even though he was atrocious over the weekend. But
Bro,
I mean, he was god awful. I mean, some of the passing he was doing in the first half, he couldn't win any duels. Today, he's got to win the duels. If you're going up against either Wirtz, you're going up against either Andrek or Palacios or Arthur.
I like Palacios, by the way. He's good.
I like Palacios, but he's very, very injury prone. McAllister's just got to start today. I just cannot trust Curtis Jones in the double pivot. No, not for me. It's got to be Mac. Now,
but you don't
in the 10 role, I would start Curtis Jones. That's where I would start Jones.
So you're cutting out my boy. Okay, fair. We'll go Curtis Jones.
Yep. I think in just today's game, it's about more technical skill. We don't really need Soboslai to be the engine in this game. You need a bit more calmness on the ball. You need a bit more precision. That's where Curtis Jones slots in. And I think for today's game, he is very valuable. And he was also off the bench, man. This is the sort of Curtis Jones we need. You just need that sort of impact every sort of game. We just don't get it. And over the weekend, again, he comes off the bench, gets the assist, boom. That's what you need from Curtis Jones. And that's what we need today again. You need to be quicker on the ball. He almost didn't give that ball to Salah, by the way, over the weekend. He was a little bit hesitant, and then he gave it up. So, yeah, today you're going up against Granit Xhaka. It's a battle you want, Curtis.
Listen, man, I think it's always a weird one with Curtis, isn't it? Because it's so stop-start with his career at Liverpool and injuries, and then sometimes it's not even injuries. It's, well, the team is now doing well without you, so we can't really just put you in just because it's about, if the team are playing well, then we continue. At the beginning of the season, first 3 to 5 games, we had the midfield already set. Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai, everyone was cool with that. We didn't really care about Curtis Jones. Now, obviously, Szoboszlai being, one of the players that everybody's kind of, just, getting onto. Yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, midfield is a very tricky. I saw a video yesterday, and they were like, I've been watching a lot of these videos where they're talking about slots, tactics, and stuff like that for Liverpool. And I was watching one, and they spoke about Liverpool's midfield. Best midfield right now going forward should be, because of the way Mac has been a little bit underwhelming recently. They actually feel it should be Gravenberch and what's his name, Szoboszlai in the double pivot with Curtis Jones, because they feel like you can get a mix and blend of everything that you almost want and need going forward. So Szoboszlai running off the ball, physicality, Gravenberch just being Gravenberch, and then Curtis Jones, you get him further forward in those areas just behind the strikers and in front of that, the wide men, behind the wide men. They feel like it's a good mix and blend. I don't know what you think in regards to
Szoboszlai in the double pivot is asking for murder. I can't lie. I mean, what sort of genius are we now listening to Twitter Tactical saying, yeah, let's get
this wasn't a Twitter Tactical.
Okay, so what is a Twitter Tactical? At least that's good, because I'm not going to see some AVI of Pep on Twitter saying to me, yeah, Szoboszlai should be playing in the double pivot. Bro, get out of here. You can just say whatever you want with the Pep AVI. Look, should Szoboszlai play in the double pivot? For me, no, he shouldn't. I just don't think he has the characteristics in his game to play in that position. Honestly, he should be left CM or even left wing. That's where he was cooking for Hungary. That's where he was cooking for RB Leipzig. But you see, most of the time when he receives the ball, it's on the right side. I just don't think that's natural for him, and I don't think he feels comfortable there either. So then you're going to slot him into the double pivot. Maybe, because then he would maybe tend towards drifting out wide, maybe on more to the left, kind of where Mac is receiving the ball. Maybe it could work, but I just don't think he is comfortable there, really.
That's so mad. You know what? Maybe I'll do a show on that this week, yeah, because I was wondering, maybe it is time to move position for him, because you're right. That's where he cooks on the wings. Done it for RB Leipzig before he came here. He's been doing it for Hungary for God knows how long. But we're trying to almost fit him in now. Listen, if the manager thinks that's the role that he should play, then I can't argue. But I almost feel like since he got here, all you've done to this player is you've killed kind of what he's really good at and tried to fit in the other attributes that he has got. So where he's a jack of all trades, he can do the running, he can shoot. Obviously, I know we haven't seen it, but he can shoot. He's got good shooting technique. He is actually good on the ball, but I know we're not seeing it right now. So it's hard for me to argue that case at this moment in time. But he is good on the ball, and he's got a very good running power and running style that when he gets going, sometimes it's difficult to, get the ball off of him. But right now, I just feel like we're only using those other kind of the non-tangible, the ones where it's how do I, how can I see this metric of him running around the pitch all the time? Really, I can only check it by his heat map. How can I check, when he touches the ball in certain areas of the pitch? Is his touch? I just feel like we're not using him correctly. But listen, if the manager feels, that's his position, I can't argue. I'm not going to argue.
I can't disagree, really.
Yeah. All right, left wing then. You saying you want to go with Lucho?
Yeah, got to go with Lucho, man. I think Gakpo's had a couple decent games. Even though I thought in the first half against Brighton, not in the League Cup, but in the league, I thought he was a little bit. Well, to be fair, the whole forward line really didn't receive the ball a lot because the midfielders could not get the ball to them, in all
Yeah.
honesty. But when Gakpo got the ball in the second half, he was looking a lot better. But I think this is a game for Lucho. He's going to have a lot of space. If I was going to say Leipzig, if Leverkusen are going to push up high with Frimpong and Grimaldo, I mean, Diaz is going to get into one-on-one situations against Tapsoba or Jonathan Tah. You got to cook, buddy. You got to cook. You got to salsa, bailando, all that against those two guys. Even though Tapsoba, I really, really rate. I think that's a player Liverpool should go for. Yeah,
I remember you actually said this last year, to be fair. Yeah, I remember you said
yeah, Tapsoba is by far their best defender, him and Hinkapie. But yeah, look, Lucho, I kind of feel bad for him in a way, because even though, Gakpo's gotten a couple starts, like, did Lucho really deserve to get dropped? No. I thought he was performing well. He was giving the people what everybody was crying over the summer, GA, all this nonsense about GA, because Gordon was getting GA at Newcastle. Now the dude has 1 assist and 1 goal this
season. I won't let this Gordon stuff.
No, of course not. Of course not. But I think this is a game for Lucho, in all honesty.
Yeah. No. I don't disagree. I have Diaz starting, and to be honest, I've got the same team. I've got the same team that you've got there.
And don't be surprised either if Lucho starts this game and then Gakpo starts against Villa on the weekend.
Oh, it's Villa we've got on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yes. That's Jesus Christ, the games do not come easy, boy.
Nope.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like he was Casper the Ghost. Talk about Gakpo in the first half. It was like a typical Gakpo performance in that first half, where I'm like, this is where the Gakpo has been that I remember. But in terms of, you're just anonymous. Yes, you're right. The midfield weren't necessarily getting a ball, but he I don't know what it is with him. He just always looks super ghost for some reason. When the rest of the team don't, like, he doesn't get involved. He doesn't like come deep and try to pick up the ball, and he doesn't do anything. And the problem is, you're not like Salah, where I'm like, even if you don't do that, I can guarantee if you get a chance, you probably will score. I don't really know that with Gakpo at the moment. Yes, he's got a great shot on him and all that stuff, but I don't know if you're that type of guy. So where you're not that guy and you're not also doing anything, that pisses me off with Gakpo a little bit. But as you say, second half, of course, got better. Cross shot, obviously got himself a goal. So I would obviously just start Diaz. But Diaz got to be, for the Liverpool fan base, because we're so fickle, he got to be careful, because he didn't deserve to get dropped, but where he wasn't GA, as you say, and everyone was looking at the GA, because he wasn't getting that many in like the last few games and hasn't. If he continues along this kind of path, I promise you, bro, people will start making that noise again.
No, G. I know how this works now with football nowadays, especially with fans. If you don't get GA, they think you've done nothing in the game.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
If you didn't watch the game, they'll be like, "Oh my God, he didn't do anything. He didn't get a goal or assist." Okay, watch the game. If he was impactful, if he was the assist to the assist, that's still being involved in the game. So, yeah, look, it's the same thing for Gakpo. If Gakpo doesn't get GA, people will be fickle. If Salah doesn't get GA for, like, let's say 5 straight games, people will start talking. Everybody's just so, brainwashed with this idea of that you have to get a goal and assist in the game to be impactful. I don't understand it, really. In my point of view, I could say the same thing for Kvara. Could say the same thing for Savinho at Man City. There's so many examples where a lot of players, they don't get the GA. Same thing with Rafael Leao at AC Milan. Like, these people on social media and YouTube are expecting, like, dude, you need to get 20 goals and 10 assists every season. Why? Because Messi did it? No, not everybody's Messi. This is another thing. Like, so for Lucho and Gakpo, yes, you have to get the goals and assists, but you need to also be impactful in the game. How is your link-up play with Robertson? How is your link-up play with Darwin? Can you give something to Darwin? That's another issue.
No, it's funny, because I've got a video dropping tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll drop it tomorrow at some point, where I talk about the evolution of wide players over the years. So when you look at it, like, say, we'll just go back just because the year that we started watching football, like David Beckham and like Ryan Giggs, how they were as left midfielder and right midfielder, what their roles were. It was kind of basic 4-4-2, get up and down, help out your fullback at times, but we expect you to be, a bit of the creative hub. So, but there's no emphasis on what you just said, which is we need 20 goals and 10 assists. It's just do what you do, but we're not looking at it good or bad. So if you get 5 assists in a season, no one's judging you on that. No one's looking at you saying, "Oh, you only got 5." No one cares, because as long as the team do well and you do what you're supposed to do, it's fine. We then start to go through this kind of era where it's like you've then got not even the Messi, because Messi and Ronaldo, like they're like anomalies. Like forget those two. You start to go through like the Ronaldinho, again, he's another anomaly, but you go through like Ronaldinho's like wide forwards who score too many goals. So because they're scoring so many goals, you're almost like, okay, well, I kind of need that. I kind of need someone, in that kind of mode. Then you get to like the Hazards, for a period of time, the Neymars, the Bales, Frank Ribery, Robbins. Now the goals are becoming where, they are actually getting 20 goals and 10 assists. Like they're doing a double-double every single season. You're like, oh, okay, cool. This is kind of what I want to see every single year. Sadio Mane, Mo Salah, then kind of, with the MSN during that period of time as well. Again, they're anomalies because they're like stupidly good. But Sadio Mane and Mo Salah start to do this thing where it's like, now teams are looking at it like, okay, we need a front three. We need one striker. We need two wingers. The two wingers have to get me double. I don't care how it comes, 10 goals, 10 assists. That's a minimum. So I feel like because we're in that kind of era, when we start getting like Jack Grealish's, players who will not get you GA at all, like that's just not what they do, you're going to look at them a bit more differently. But then I think it's all about context. It's about trying to look at it and think, okay, what is the manager even asking from this player? Exactly. Because if he's not, obviously he wants players to score goals. If you're an attacker, you want to score. No one's going to say, oh, I don't want to score goals. But I do think that some players, like I say, Jack Grealish being an obvious one, their game isn't really about that though. Their game is more, I'm a pre-assist guy. I win the fouls in the dangerous areas for us to get a goal. So yes, it's not going to come up in any statistic, but that's what I do in the game. Now, whether you rate that or don't rate that, it doesn't really matter because we've seen Manchester City, they're continuously winning and Jack Grealish is playing a part, in those kind of games. So I feel like it's just the way that football is now. Like I'll be so rude. Like right now, we don't see teams play with two strikers. I miss those days. I can't lie.
Inter do.
No, but not many teams. Sorry, not many teams are playing. Should I say? Sorry, with like two strikers. Even the fact that Inter do it, it's almost like, they can actually play with Marcus Thuram and Lautaro Martinez. Oh, right. Like people look at that as like a shock when that to me is like, yeah, that's just normal. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you got two strikers. They both are good strikers in their own right. So you play them and they complement each other because of the type of strikers that Thuram and Martinez, actually are. But teams now have to one striker, two wingers, and the winger has to supply, the striker at all times. Somehow we want our striker to score 40 goals, but we need our winger to score 30 goals and get 25 assists. I'm like, bro, not everybody can score an assist in games. Like sometimes it is just going to be down to that one person in these kind of systems. But listen, man, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Big up Fozzie in the building, bro. Hope you're doing well, my brother. Hope you're doing well. Guys, head on over to his channel, please, and make sure you subscribe. Big up Red Chili in the building. Can I say I'm literally on my bike on the watching the start? Hey, be careful on your bike, bro. Be careful, man. Ride safe. But yes, obviously this is our lineup. So obviously Keller in goal, Trent, Gomez, Virgil, and Robertson. Gravenberch and Mack in the double pivot with Salah, Jones, and Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez, should I say, as your front four. Obviously, I know we didn't talk about Núñez, but I know he'll start. He's going to play. Jota's still, to my knowledge, unless something else has come out, Jota's obviously still injured. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to go with Michael for the game. Final thoughts though, bro, before we head on out of here. Chat to us, man. And your score prediction as well, by the way, as well.
I would say that Wirtz is the danger man. Definitely. Okay. If we could just keep, because he's been on fire this season, even though like Leverkusen have been kind of underperforming, would you say he's still balling out? And he's just, I said this on another channel that him being in 12th place in the Ballon d'Or was criminal. That was the biggest robbery for me in the Ballon d'Or. That Florian.
I saw your tweet still.
12th place. I'm like, what is going on here? But he's just a sensational player, and I think people will realize tonight because people don't watch the Bundesliga. They call it Farmers League. This narrative, that narrative. When you see him ball out, the dude balls out. Just so good in the close control. So that's where Gravenberch really got to be careful with those tackles. That if you're going to be going for those tackles, you got to be on point. Because a couple of times against Brighton, we gave 2 free kicks on the edge of the box. You can't do that against Bayer Leverkusen because they got Grimaldo. one of the probably the best free kick specialist in the world right now with his technique. So, yeah, let's see how that's going to go down. And yeah, as long as we can nullify Frimpong and Grimaldo out wide, we will win this game. If we don't, then we're going to have a tough night.
Yeah. No, I echo what Michael's saying, man. I think if that doesn't happen, yeah, and it's almost like the triangle. That's how I look at Bayer Leverkusen. Xhaka at the point, or whatever you want to, however you upside down triangle, if you want to say it. Xhaka at the point with the two wide men. You need to stop those three. And to be honest, we can even call it a diamond, because then if I throw in Florian Wirtz, that diamond is problematic for me. And that's where I look at Liverpool. And I'm watching some of these games back in the last like couple of days, because it's on LFC TV Go. So I just decided to watch it. We're getting cut through too many times. Teams are able to play through us kind of easily. Like, it's not, they're not doing Barcelona 2009. It's really not even that good. It's literally one pass from the centre back straight into our back line, straight away. And all of a sudden now their whole attack. I saw it against Brighton, where you can see Matoma getting on the ball. What's the midfielder's name? Begins with an A. Ayari. Yeah, bro, he's getting on the ball in dangerous areas. He's then popping it to who's the right winger that they had, Turkish guy. He's popping it off to him, and I'm just like, okay, brother, I need you guys. And the problem that you had with that is, that's why I said in my reaction, Gravenberch was just average, because another game where you just get bypassed. You're not like, it's not even that you're doing anything wrong. You're just getting bypassed in the game. Like, the ball's not even getting near you enough. You're not even getting close to the ball. And you see Brighton, yeah, Brighton are a problem as it is, as we saw. The way that they had that counter-attack, and still never forget, like the counter-attack that they had. And I said it already, when you watch Liverpool, I still think that we're one of the best teams in the world at counter-attack football, but it's all very rushed. You can see it's very hurried, and that's fine, because we are good at it. You see the way Brighton did it. It wasn't rushed. It was all like, it was just quick in the way they did it, but nothing was rushed. It was pop, pop, pop. This player was in that position. That player was in this position.
Leverkusen would do the same thing.
Exactly. And that's where I worry for Liverpool in terms of coming up against certain teams. And by the way, guys, we're not this defensively sound. Well, we've conceded 6 goals. I said it yesterday. We've conceded 6 goals in the last 5 games, considering where we was before this. So if you conceded 6 goals in the last 5 games, and I'm be honest, we probably should have been conceding a little bit more. And we're only just about winning these games: 3-2 against Brighton, 2-1 against Brighton, 2-2 against Arsenal, 1-0 against RB Leipzig. We're not killing these teams off. We're not winning 6-3 or 6-2. We're winning literally by 1 goal. So we are playing it a bit, fast and loose, if I'm being 100% honest. Listen, we're winning games. So, of course, I don't actually give a flying F at this current moment in time, because as long as I can believe that the team is going to get better, just get the wins now. Get your wins now, playing crap or not playing that well. And then I can deal with that when we get better. I'm going to put my faith in that Slot is going to have this team just cooking like there's no tomorrow. But be careful, though, because it's not going to work every single game, I don't think. And this is where I think.
And the thing is as well, like Leverkusen, I feel like with a lot of Premier League teams, they try and score the perfect goal. They try and pass it into net. The thing with Leverkusen is when they shot on target, shoot the up. That's what they're going to do. Leverkusen. Once they get the ball, when they get the ball on the edge of the box, either Xhaka's going to shoot it, Grimaldo's going to shoot it, not Frimpong, because that guy has no shooting technique. He literally passes into net. Boniface, all of these guys will shoot on target. So if you're Liverpool and Kelleher's going to be a busy man tonight, don't be shocked if Liverpool concede a lot of shots today, because I feel like Brighton were trying to score the perfect goal. They really were trying passing it to the net. Leverkusen won't do that. They're going to be very clinical and try and take a lot of shots in the game. So let's see how that goes down. Kelleher, you got to be on point tonight. No Alisson, but other teams will cry about injuries. But Liverpool were like, hey, we got the Irish Dawn in net. Don't worry about it.
As I said, other teams. And on that note, we will leave it there. My prediction.
Yeah.
2-2. I just think
I'm going 2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool.
Yep. I would be shocked if this gets to 3-2, 4-3. I'd generally be shocked.
Yeah, because Liverpool don't really score that many goals like that. If you think about it.
Yeah.
And Leverkusen, I do think. Listen, as good as I think Leverkusen are, they will give us chances. So
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think
They'll
it's
give.
like it's.
Dude, they were giving up chances to stop Brestois.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
Yeah,
there
they
you go.
were.
So
I mean, they got screwed over in that game, but Stade Brestois were cooking them. And if Stade Brestois are cooking them, if Feyenoord were cooking them, Salah, Lucho, Darwin, you better cook tonight. That's all I'm going to say.
what was the score again against Bayern Munich? Was it 0-0?
No, yeah. But
I feel
Bayern
like they're going to play,
they had chances in that game, Bayern, but they just didn't. We're not clinical in that game at all.
and that's what I was thinking. I feel like they're going to try and play potentially similar to that. I feel like it'll be kind
Very
of like
defensive.
for Bayer Leverkusen sense, yeah. Whereas as Michael said, very defensive. I just feel like it's going to be like that. But don't be stupid and think that these guys are not going to get chances, because we seem to give up a lot of chances recently.
Have we played any back five formations this season? I'm trying to think.
Forest or Wolves?
Maybe Forest, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me check actually.
I kind of struggled because that's what Bayer Leverkusen are going to set up in a back five. Basically, they play like a 5-2-2-1 in a sense.
Yeah.
But I don't think even Forest really set up in a back five, or did they really? I'm trying to remember the game.
Technically, no, they didn't, because it says they had four at the back, and if you look at the players that they had, they couldn't have set up with five at the back.
Yeah, because then when they brought on Hudson-Odoi, then they kind of were more attacking wise with the back four.
Yeah, literally. So yeah, okay, so maybe not Forest then. So maybe we haven't come up against.
Yeah, well, that'll be an interesting test today. Let's see how Slot deals with it.
Yeah, yeah, Jesus Christ. Slot, you're learning a lot of lessons, mate. You're learning a lot of lessons. Our 10 needs to come back into the midfield when we don't have the ball, lads. Yeah. Not to play the defensive team. Yeah, but it was just weird. Like I don't feel like they were like overly defensive. Like I just think they were just super organized.
They were so organized.
Yeah, and I feel like that's where Liverpool had the problem. It wasn't so much that they were so. Listen, they're playing Liverpool at Anfield. Like they're gonna need to defend, and we did have chances, in the game, but they weren't like. I've seen defense. You've seen defensive, Michael, like where teams literally they're not moving from here. This low block, and we're gonna stay here. We're just gonna keep hoofing it long, and then we'll just have to try our luck from there. They didn't really do that. Like they still have players like Gibbs White, Elliot Anderson. They still have players further up the field to hurt us at times. It was just more, they were just so organized. It was mad. Then their players coming. Yeah, exactly. And that was what killed us. Callum Hudson-Odoi coming off the bench. Alanga coming off the bench. It was like, what? So you were able to play like this without those guys, and then you just flipped the switch and said, all right, we're now going to hit you guys. Because they knew Nuno was so clever in that game. He knew that the game hit a moment a period where it was like Liverpool are pushing so high to obviously try and apply pressure. If we get players who can take them the other way, and Alanga is stupidly fast as well. If you can get players like that, it's peak for you. Listen, it was a recipe on how to defeat Liverpool this season. I can't lie to you. I cannot lie. Kwanzaa is actually, yeah. I don't know if that's him. I don't know if that was his DMs. I've seen the video and all of that. Hey, listen.
Oh, yeah, what's going on here?
Bro, you don't want to know.
What the heck? What are these guys doing? Did you see? Oh, did you see last night? Did you see last night? By the way, in Brazil, a pig's head was thrown.
Yeah. Oh yes. But I remember thinking, I thought it was. I can't lie. I thought it was fake. So I just kind of like skipped.
No. That was
I just
they had all the pictures of the pig's head there. Oh my god, man! Normal day in South American football.
Oh, okay. That's always good to hear that. In football, I can just be playing and there'll be, a freaking pig's head. Big up Alexander. In the building. Listen, I don't know with the whole. Listen, I just leave Kwanzaa to do what he's doing, man. He ain't starting games anyway, so it's not my business.
Let the man live. Let the man live. That's outside of football.
Yeah. That's and listen, I should wear. Yeah.
If people think that's bad, go check what Arturo Vidal just did. I'm gonna leave it at that.
One sec.
That's all I'm gonna say. So.
What did Arturo Vidal do, bro?
You got to check it later, G.
Oh my god! What? Yeah. You guys just type that in on Twitter. Yeah. Exactly. I'm not gonna say it. You just type that in on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. So if you think Kwanzaa's doing bad, I wouldn't. Okay, obviously it's
bro.
bad, and yeah, it's
Nah,
asses wet
nah.
and all that sort of nonsense. But seriously, there's some other weirder shit going on in football than him.
Oh my days, Jesus Christ. Guys, big up to your damn self. Love for joining me this morning. Try to keep it short and sweet. Mike, chat to the people if you got anything popping. I know, by the way, actually, Michael's I'll give you his link again. He has got the video of Ajax as
Yeah,
well.
man.
I watched that video. So yeah, guys, please check that out, man. But if you got anything coming up today,
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Champions gonna talk about Serie A, man. It's a madness now. So there's a video coming out about Serie A, and then tonight and tomorrow, Champions League reaction videos. Gonna be reacting to Sporting and Man City, Liverpool, Bayern Leverkusen, because some people have been telling me that Gyökeres is another just bum from the Portuguese league. Well, we're gonna find out tonight, and then tomorrow got some good games. Inter Arsenal. Oh, I cannot wait. Oh, Inter Arsenal is going to cook. And PSG Atletico is going to cook. Oh, we got some games this weekend. We got games this week.
I cannot wait. It's the Inter Arsenal game. I need Inter to just do, I don't need it to be cooked. I need it to be
sauteed.
Yes.
Grilled.
Yes. Barbecued. I need it to be sauteed. I need it to be barbecued. I need it to be, you flipped it over a few more extra times just to make sure that it was the real charcoal. I want to see the lines, the grill lines. I want to see those imprinted into the food, bro. I need that like there is no tomorrow. Honestly, and Fozzie, I'm with you. I'm not even going to talk about it because we've been talking about Arsenal for the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Michael's also got a video looking at Arsenal. What's funny here? You just mentioned that you're doing a video on Gyökeres. I can't wait for that video. And the reason why I can't wait for that video is because I've been wanting someone, and it's actually good that you're doing it. I've been needing someone to tell the rest of us, in your eyes, and I don't want to step on your video or anything like that.
Yeah.
Do you think
I'm just doing a reaction video to tonight's game?
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
In your eyes, then, in regards to Gyökeres, do you think he could go to one of the top teams in the Premier League in the world and be good there? Or do you think it is more tailored to specific, like he can only go to this team, for example?
I feel like he's not tailor-made for Man City. I can't lie. If he went to Arsenal, he would cook.
You think if
I think if he went to Arsenal, he would have cooked. Man City, I just don't know. Maybe his technical ability is not there. Obviously, you could say the same thing about Haaland. He's not there. I think if he went to Liverpool, I think if he went to Arsenal, I think if he went to Chelsea, bro, this guy would. If he went to Chelsea, he would be getting 25 goals. Not even kidding. I think he's that good. This is not a Bastos. This is not a Gonzalo Ramos. This is not a Darwin Núñez. This dude has been cooking for the past 2 seasons, getting you goals and assists. He has the most GA in 2024. GA, not just goals. He's gotten 17 or 18 assists this year. He's ridiculous. So I cannot wait if he scores 2 goals tonight, because I've been seeing some people saying, oh, he's just a Bastos. I don't know if you remember that Dutch striker, Bastos. He was from Wolfsburg, and he went to Sporting, did well there. Now, this guy, he's different, in my opinion. Bastos was more of a guy, he's just a presence in the box. This dude is getting the ball out wide. He'll give you goals into the box. He's dropping 3-4 defenders. Yes, some of the defending in the Portuguese league isn't the greatest. I would say that. So if he could just get more service, which I would think he would in some teams. Oh, now GA mattered. Hey, valid point, Gramps. Valid point. But look, for Gyökeres, I think he's just he has sort of elevated. Even if you watched him at Coventry, the dude was cooking at Coventry. Yeah, you could say it's a championship. You could say it's a championship, but Jude Bellingham was doing well there. Other players, I'm trying to think of other. Grealish was doing well there. Yeah, obviously Grealish didn't turn out to be great at Man City. Other examples.
Ivan Toney obviously did well there. Ollie Watkins did well there as well. There's
so many examples of players just balling out in the championship, and they go to the Premier League and they start doing well. Obviously, maybe first season doesn't work out. Then you hear the narrative, okay, first season he's a bum, disregard him. But I think Gyökeres, especially with Man City's defense not looking the greatest, I think he might feast tonight.
Listen, I take Michael's word seriously, so I'm gonna sit on that one, and I'm gonna say, all right. But obviously, it's difficult. By the way, I'm not gonna watch him against Man City and think, oh my goodness, if he doesn't do well, I don't really care, because it's just one game and it's just a one-off kind of game anyway. So I'm not judging him. Obviously, if he does really well, then of course you look at him and think, ooh, okay, this guy might, You know what I mean? Like, and I know if he scores against Manchester City, I guarantee everybody will be like, "Yo, he's the guy. We need to sign this." I can already see it. I know.
You know what's the next two Champions League games for them? It's Man City and Arsenal for Sporting. So,
if he scores against those two teams and he bags
the
like
narrative.
a hat-trick or two goals, yeah. The Arsenal one is the one I really want you to really bag against. But yes, if you can do it against Manchester City as well, oh my God, that would be absolutely, like, it'll be nuts. And people will start looking around and saying, hey, because I just checked now, he's only 26. I thought he was older for some reason, but he's only 26. So it's not even like he's 28 and he's at that, like the type of strikers that you just named. If he was like 28, 29, then I'll be like, okay, I can see maybe where you guys are coming from in terms of not rating him, so to speak. But he's only 26. So listen, I don't know, man. I like Gyökeres. I think Gyökeres is actually a good striker. I just don't know just yet. I just don't know.
I think that's the case for
it's
like
Nunes.
A lot of players.
Nunes has scarred me, bro. Nunes has scarred me, bro.
I can understand that, G. But like, I think a lot of people have that narrative when it comes to players from the Eredivisie, League, obviously Liga Portugal, where, oh man, this guy, he hasn't proven in the Premier League. Can he prove it in La Liga? Can he do this? Can he do that? But I think if you just watch the player and you kind of see just the attributes he has, and you fit him into a certain team, he would cook. That's why I said if Gyökeres went to Man City, I don't think he would do well. If Gyökeres went to PSG, I think he would do really well because, PSG just don't have a striker. They're trying to tell me Kolo Muani is going to do something. But yeah, look, you're going to find out tonight, people. Let's see, man. Everybody's just been talking shit and saying, oh, I know I'm not going to name names because then I would get G into trouble here in this channel. But certain people have been talking about this guy and saying, oh, he's just another this, another that. I got my Twitter bookmarks. Don't worry, I got the bookmarks. So if he backs 2 goals tonight, I'm going to be red hot today. G, I've kind of been Mr. Nice Guy for about 2 years on YouTube. Just saying, oh, this is nice. This no more. It's done. I've gone into my WWE heel mode. I'm done with this. I'm going into Triple H and the Evolution. This is not my face.
Mike, I'll be there. Don't worry about me, and no one's gonna chat rubbish to me if they know what's good for them. But no, don't you worry. Like, I'm there with you. If as soon as that happens, listen, I'm gonna be there. You know me, I'm always stirring the pot anyway, regardless of anything. So yes, I can't wait to see.
Don't worry. When Arsenal could see that 15th goal of the season in the Premier League, I got a video already saved.
Oh, perfect. This is what I'm saying, and this is what happens. You know what? It's really the good old saying that I used to say, as a young tyke, on my way to school, chat shit, you get banged. And this is one of those kind of times.
And the same applies to me. You know what I said?
Yeah, no, of course.
I said that Barcelona can win the treble this season. So if they don't win the treble,
but to be fair, I kind of back you that because the way that they've been playing now, and
people can come after me if I say some stuff as well. I don't care. Look, I'm a man. I work. I just do a YouTube channel for my hobby. I go to the gym. I live a good life. It doesn't matter to me. So if you want to come at my takes, I'm cool. But don't be hurt if we go after your takes. But last thing before we head out, I just got to run through you some of these games that we got in the Champions League this week.
Yeah. Do you think?
We got Lille, Juventus. Leo have been cooking this season. Obviously, Liverpool, Leverkusen. Now we got Real Madrid, AC Milan. Now I don't know what Milan are going to do because Fonseca, that dude is a atrocity as a manager. Then we got Sporting Man City, Bayern Munich, Benfica, Inter, Arsenal, PSG, Atleti, and the most underrated game by far is Stuttgart, Atalanta. That game is going to cook.
I want to see what Lookman does in that game. I want to see how he does. I want to see how he does. But that's going to be that sounds like an underrated game. You know what? Actually, maybe maybe the Super League wasn't actually a bad idea because this is effectively the Super League. But if you look at the games that we're actually having, these games are a bit more interesting. Like, I'm bored of seeing Man City versus FC
Shakhtar.
Copenhagen, or Shakhtar. Like those games become boring over a period of time. I want to see, them against a Sporting or even better teams than that. AC Milan versus Real Madrid, or Real Madrid versus AC Milan, should I say? Like, those games are a bit more interesting to me because both teams, they're not. Real Madrid are still Real Madrid, but AC Milan are not really in a good moment. Could this be a game for AC Milan to turn it around, though?
Leao has been benched 3 games in a row now.
This could be a game. That's what I'm saying. This could be a game where he might be able to turn it around. And the manager, I don't think he's going to use him. If he's been benching him 3 games, I don't know, man. I don't know. Pulisic got to make sure he's working extra hard tonight, then, or tomorrow, whenever the game is. But nah, guys, listen, look, stay tuned, stay locked in. As Michael said already, he's got everything Champions League oriented for you guys. So make sure you lock into that. Hold on, is Man City playing today?
Yep.
Oh man, I wanted to watch.
We got three fire games tonight. I mean, 4 actually, I would say, all at the same time. That's what sucks for me. I gotta try and watch 3 games at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna have to put up like pair screens. Like, okay, I'll figure it out. But yeah, guys, please, as I said, man, make sure you lock in, smash a like, share, subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow morning, usual time, 10 a.m. For the match reaction. What else have I got? Yep, as I said, I've also just done a video on my other channel. If you guys want to head over there and watch it, 50 Cent and Amari Hardwick go back and forth. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So yeah, make sure you guys check that out.
The actor?
The guy who played Ghost in Power. The guy who played Ghost in Power.
Yeah.
He
what the hell were they beefing up? What the heck? I'll have to watch that video.
50 Cent doesn't beef. 50 Cent, he doesn't beef anybody. They beef him. And they're just talking about money. Just like money he thought he should have been owed and stuff like it's more silly from the actor's point of view, I feel, because the reality is he gave you and people when you watch it, you'll see that of course he's done so many other different types of shows and different movies and stuff. Like, of course, he had a career before 50 Cent came around. Yeah. But remember, he put you on the map in itself. It's almost like trying to say, okay, it's almost like Adoma Lukman, yeah. You see the Charlton coach or whatever, the youth coach that he had who came to the final that time. It's almost like him saying, yeah, man, like I should be getting a piece of the money that he's getting now. Like I'm the reason. No, bro. No. You helped, yes, you helped him to get to the player that he is, but don't come like he made himself into this. Do you get like? Don't try to come around now and start asking for some money and this, that. Listen, you've already been flown over to wherever the final was last season in the Europa League. He's probably paid for your hotel. He's probably paid for you just chill, just relax. And that's basically where I feel that Amari is kind of coming. But also I do understand that people will always say like they feel valued at this X amount. So Michael might turn around and say, I wouldn't sell my YouTube. Like if someone came to you with a YouTube offer and said, I'll buy your channel for X amount, you might say, nah, man, like I want whatever amount. And that's up to you. That's totally up to you. You decide. If you feel that that's not the amount that your channel is worth, then fair enough. But who knows what it's going to look like in the future. And that's kind of, where 50 Cent is kind of at. But yeah, you guys watch it, check it out. Let me know what you think in regards to that. And I will catch you guys tomorrow morning. Peace. Enjoy the rest of your day.